Thank you for tuning in to Cop with Critic. I'm Brian Koppen. We're with critic Max Freedman. Max Freedman, how the hell are you?
I'm doing great today, Brian. Thank you so much for having me on Koppen with Critic. How are you doing?
Oh, doing great. Well, we follow you on lavendersound.substack.com. Tell me what is posted there usually.
Yes, Lavender Sound, Lavender sound.substack.com. That
Yeah,
is singular sound.
I had
We
already spelled it wrong, so thank you for spelling it out for people
You
who
are
are like
very
me.
welcome, and you are not the first. A lot of people think that lavender ends in AR when it ends in ER, and some people think it's lavender sounds when it's just one sound. In any case, to answer your question, what's on there is roughly twice a month reviews and commentary on new releases or retrospectives on albums that we've loved for a long time, maybe just a year, maybe 10 years, maybe longer, sprinkled in with lots of political commentary along the way. Some of these reviews and retrospectives have political stuff bent in, and there's been a big focus lately on trying to minimize one's use of paid streaming services and alternatives to listening to music, and the notion of, well, in the future, there'll be a lot about separating the art from the artist. So even though we're like reviews first based, there's going to be a lot of more commentary, and there already has started to be.
Oh, good. And I'm just glad it's not behind like are we able to read some of these things for free? Because I know
Yeah, the
that
entire thing is
Pitchfork,
free.
yeah, Pitchfork is
I
not putting their reviews against behind a paywall, so it's good that you're
yeah,
not, right?
I mean, I used to write for Pitchfork, and there's a reason I don't anymore. That's what I'll say on that. But nothing is paywalled at Lavender Sound. I used to have a paywall back when I used to pay writers myself, but I decided I wanted to scale down in frequency and make the platform just about me for a little bit of vanity. And as a counterbalance to that, everything is free to access.
Oh, good. I love that. It's like I'm gonna make it all about me, but you're gonna want to read it because it's totally free. Check that out.
Exactly.
So we're doing a Hall of Fame face-off. We each picked five. I thought they would be different, but they're actually the same. One of them is the same. So we each picked
Mhm.
five Hall of Fame artists and a song from each, and they're going to face off against each other. And there's one that was surprisingly identical. It's like I did not choose this person based on your list. I just kind of took a list I already had, and you're like, oh, there's two songs by this person. So we'll get there eventually. But first, I'm going to
Yeah.
name a song, and let me know what you think of the song and what you're going to face off against it. I will pick a sacrificial lamb in the form of Hank Ballard's Hoochie Coochie Coo. Were you able to listen? What did you think? And what are you going to face off against it?
Yeah, I was able to listen. I did listen to every song you sent, and I do see why you said this one is a sacrificial lamb, because I'm sure for its time, it was advanced. It seems like it was popular for its time, but it's very much like late 50s, early 60s music, where like the very formation of pop was just beginning. And I don't know that anybody would classify Hank Ballard as pop in the sense we call it today, but he was popular. It's what a lot of people were listening to. And since it was about 60, 65 years ago that that song dropped, music sounds very different today, more advanced, more deeply emotional, more profound. So I see why you're calling it the sacrificial lamb. If you're going to call it the sacrificial lamb, I got to think of which of mine is the sacrificial lamb, because I chose songs that I all like absolutely love. But if I had to choose one that like I love the least of my five, I
Yeah,
will
yeah, and
say,
you should, because like you said, anything could beat Frank Ballard.
yeah. I think I will face it off against my least favorite one of the five, which again I all love, and I chose "If" by Janet Jackson.
Oh, okay, yeah. So let me first talk about Hank Ballard, and let me then talk about Janet
Please.
Jackson. Like I totally agree, it's super pop, and it sounds like the twist because he's the guy who wrote the twist. And
Hmm.
so, and my dad was always like, Chubby Checker finally got into the Rock Hall. I'm like, Dad, uh, Hank Ballard wrote that song and Hank Ballard's in. So does Chubby Checker really need to be in there other than his
Yeah.
Oreo commercials? And so I did
Mm.
like it. It was very poppy. And of course, pop music today doesn't have to be more serious. Of course, there's songs like Bop that are
Hmm.
it's just a wonderful song. But Janet Jackson is beloved on this podcast. The song If doesn't really have too much going against it. Like a lot of your songs don't. Like
Yeah,
they're
I
all
did
kind
choose
of
a bunch of heavy hitters.
yeah, you did totally heavy hitters because I try to make sure that like I pick different artists for every episode. So I kind of have the luxury of picking some, non-heavy hitters. But
Right.
Janet Jackson is a heavy hitter. I think she
Hmm.
beat either Bowie or Queen on a previous episode just because
Wow. Okay.
being that critic, we're like, oh, Janet Jackson's again is one of the best songs in the history of time. But if now the only thing that yeah, so when your music is, when the songs you pick are musically excellent, you can
Hmm.
go to their lyrics a little bit. And
Yeah.
that's true here where you're like, if I was your girl, the things I'd do to you. So you're like, okay, that's great. But then
Mhm.
she gives one example and it sucks. She's like, I'll make you call out my name and ask who it belongs to. Can you imagine that? Like, oh, you really want me in a relationship? Okay, cool. What's your kink? It's like, oh, I want you to call out my name. Okay, I'll do that. And then she
I
goes, but
mean,
then I'm
I'm
also
sure
going
it
to
works for
ask you,
somebody.
yeah, I'm also going to ask you who it belongs to. I'm like, you just told me.
I
But yeah,
mean,
you're right. Like, there's all sorts of kinks, and we can't shame any of them. But if that's her
yeah.
kink,
And
very
there's like a
cool.
dominatrix edge to it. Like if I was going to like call Janet out for anything on the song, it's not what she's saying. It's the fact that like in the verses, she's in such a like mumble rap mode that like I listen to this song so many times and I will never actually know what she's saying in the verses. Like the one time I did
Yeah.
it at karaoke, I was like, "What? That's what she's saying?"
What song did I pick? Because no, I love the mumblecore, but yeah, I could care less what she's saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm one of those people where the lyrics will have to be distinctly good, like they have to be distinct and either good or
Mhm.
awful for it to swing a song for me. And so this mumblecore stuff, she could be saying, Trump is my favorite politician, and I would be like, well, I didn't hear that.
I mean, I would hear it and be like, "Girl, we're not doing that." But like Janet's not going to say that. Like Nicki Minaj and Kanye West, we can look to them for that commentary.
But also, like, I'm not going to look up the lyrics, right? And so
Well,
if it's
yeah, there's
not
also that.
distinct, yeah, if it's not distinct and it's mumbled, it's just like I don't care that much. Like somebody would have to read the lyrics and tell me about it before me to for me to turn against Janet. And so yeah,
For
why'd you pick
sure.
this song by Janet? And it's obviously not your favorite Janet Jackson song.
I think it is my favorite Janet Jackson song, but not for the lyrics because I'm a
Okay.
texture over lyrics person in general when it comes to music. And to me, like the texture of the song is everything. The fact that it's like her metal song, that lick is just incredible. And like I had
Yeah.
a big high school metal phase, even though I mostly can't stand the stuff now. But when you put metal into a pop context, like what Grimes and Rina Sawayama were doing around 2020, even though Grimes is, problematic in her own way, like I love that kind of stuff. So this
Yeah,
song is
You said Grimes and who? Hannah?
Rina Sawayama.
Okay, she also did a kind of a cool song with Hannah. What I think it was Hannah. It was
That's
just
right.
Hannah.
Yeah, we appreciate. Is that we appreciate
Yeah, we
power?
appreciate power. No, I love
Yeah, I love
Grimes, and
that
I
song.
know
That
she's
song
a
bangs.
I know she's an Elon Musk person now, but it's just like
Right.
I've always loved Grimes, especially early Grimes. But I like the
Mhm.
rock, yeah, instrumentation in this song. Do you think that Janet got it from Michael?
Oh, that's a good question. I never thought of that. I want to say whether consciously or subconsciously, yes, but I don't.
Yeah.
I never actually thought of that. It's a really good question.
But no, they're kind of like that. They're like, I want this
Yeah.
song to be harder and
Mhm.
edgy, so I'm going to bring Slash on the song or something like that. Whereas
Yeah.
here, like it fits in so much better because it's not just like, oh, Eddie Van Halen, please do a stupid solo on Black or White, right? It actually
Yeah.
fits. It's the riff. It's really hard. What song would you choose next? And I'll tell you which one I'm going to face against it.
All right. Let's go with "Like a Prayer" by Madonna.
Okay, well then we have to do the Madonna Live to Tell. Here it is,
Fittingly.
the Madonna face off. So we both
Mhm.
probably love Madonna. And why is Like a Prayer better than Live to Tell, or are they both awesome?
Well, they're both awesome because they're both Madonna songs, but Like a
Yeah.
Prayer is like, first of all, almost certainly Madonna's best song. There are a few competitors, but more than that, it's like a Prayer, I believe, is number 50 on Rolling Stone's 500 best songs of all time list, and it's very deserved. Like,
Oh yeah.
I've never really heard another gospel song, at least not from, sorry, pop song, at least from this era, that incorporates gospel so seamlessly and like incorporates the heavenly, divine, sky-reaching qualities of gospel music into a pop song, and it works instead of coming off like corny or all like, oh, I'm religious now, I'm born again Christian. Like it
Yeah.
works so well, and then the fact that it's like we'll never know whether she was speaking about like actually being devoted to God or just like giving somebody a blowjob or both. It just makes it all the better, and this sounds amazing.
And when you initially called it gospel, I wasn't going to correct you because I was like, yeah, it is a gospel song, and that's wonderful.
Right,
And
exactly.
it's real dynamic too. I guess it kind of gets rocky, kind of rocks out
Yeah.
at the end. And I mean, and Live to Tell, by contrast, is a little bit one note, but then you
Mhm.
can say it's also just uniformly beautiful. It doesn't need to be dynamic if you just want to hear, if you're in the mood to hear Live to Tell. Were you able to hear? I could have picked something like Madonna's Iconic. Have you heard that song? That's the one where Chance the Rapper's on it, which is not important, but it
Oh
starts
dear
out with
God.
a spoken word by Mike Tyson.
Yeah, as you can tell, I have not heard that song because hot take to me, Madonna basically does not exist after Confessions on a Dance Floor.
Boo, boo. This song will turn you around on
If
that. Do you think
it
she
has
fell
Chance the
off? She just
Rapper
stopped.
and Mike Tyson on it, I'm not so convinced, but now I have to listen to it out of sheer curiosity.
Oh no, I mean, I don't like Chance the Rapper. I think this is the only thing I liked him on, even though I'm from Chicago. But
Hmm.
like I think that it's just a great pop song, and she's the one who can sing about iconic because she is like an icon.
Well,
And so my
yeah.
question is, why do you think Madonna sucks now? Is it the thing where she stops surrounding herself with people who will tell her when something sucks? Because a lot of times stand-up comedians will do that too, where their early stuff will be great, because they've been building it up over decades, but then it starts to suck because nobody will tell them the truth. It's like, they just surround themselves with yes people. Why did you turn on Madonna?
I think that could be part of it, but to me, it's like Madonna releases for the most part have been like very forward-thinking pop releases of their time. In not every case did they like sound like nothing before them, but they always sounded incredibly fresh and
Yeah,
compelling, and like she was just like delivering her music from the heart passionately,
yeah.
and there was just she was there. But from like Hard Candy onward, she starts to become anonymous. I mean, there are some songs on Hard Candy that work. Like I kind of enjoy Miles Away. But from Hard Candy onward, she's mostly just like jumping in on trends without putting herself in them. Like even Bitch I'm Madonna, which is produced by Sophie, who I cherish, is like
Ooh,
kind of
Sophie.
annoying and just like her attempt at doing hyperpop before it was a thing, and it's just brash and bad. And of course, it has both MAA and Nicki Minaj on it, which is like two axes of problematic. So yeah, not a good time for Madonna.
But I also think I like you mentioned Sophie and hyperpop, and I think hyperpop doesn't need it kind of needs anonymous vocals. Like I don't want like if it's a Madonna hyperpop song, it's not really hyperpop in my opinion. Because it's like, remember that song Hey Cutie by Cutie?
Yeah, yeah.
Or like what Alex, who's the guy who just sampled Sophie? I think he ran the label. Is
AG Cook.
Yeah, AG Cook. Yeah, he has a wonderful, just a recent album that I just love, where he kind of sang. I think they called it interpolated some Sophie lyric, and I'm like, okay, well, you worked with Sophie, so that's great because I love Sophie.
Yeah.
But I was like, you can't have Madonna on a hyper pop song. Is that correct or no?
I feel like it could work if it was like you could tell it was her. And you know how like when Cher came around with Believe, even though it was
Yeah,
auto-tuned to bits, you could tell it was her and it was
yeah,
like an amazing perfect pop song. Like I feel like if Madonna took that to hyperpop, it would work. But like everything from like Hard Candy onward, it's just kind of like anodyne and like it's not necessarily unpleasant minus maybe the excess of Bishop Madonna, but like it doesn't have her distinct viewpoint and her incredible voice and just the fact that she can like command any song. Like if anything, she gets lost.
yeah. So I would think it's like kind of like a cash register where it's like she has nothing fresh to say, but she needs
Mm-hmm.
to fill up the bank account or have an excuse to tour, and that's not really why we like Madonna. Have you heard Get Into
Mm-hmm.
the Groove by Sonic Youth?
If you're saying like a cover of Into
Yeah.
the Groove by Sonic Youth, no, but if depending on the era of Sonic Youth, I would expect that to be great.
Oh no, it's amazing. And it's early. It's to the extent where I think they might have known her in New York, but they used her last name. Was it Ciccone? How do you pronounce
Yeah,
that?
Ciccone, I always say, but I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, Ciccone Youth. That was the name that they called it, and it's called Get Into the Groovy, but it was a
Incredible.
reworked version that was amazing. Okay, so in conclusion, Madonna could do a hyper pop song if A.G. Cook wrote it and produced it.
Possibly. I mean, I'd love to see like underscores produce it, but she's still on the come up.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I've actually heard of underscores. Okay, let me do my song. Let's do Parliament Flashlight. What do you think of the song, and what are you gonna face off against it?
Okay, this is my favorite of your songs. So
Oh, really?
yeah, for
Cool.
sure. Like I love a deep, long groove that sounded weirdly sexual, and because of that, I'm gonna go with "When Doves Cry" by Prince because weirdly sexual, not weirdly sexual in Prince's case, just sexual.
Yeah, oh totally. He's sex on a stick. I'll take it. Um,
Completely, yeah.
First of all, what does he mean when doves cry? Is it when he's like, this is what it sounds like when doves cry, and then he proceeds to sing, or and then there's also a keyboard or synthesizer. And so is he saying that's the sound, or is he just saying, okay, you left me, because I was like my mom or my dad, and so me singing this is just kind of like, this is what it sounds like when doves cry, like a dude singing a sad ass song. Like what does it sound like?
To me, it sounds like a dude singing a sad ass song, but it's interesting because the music sounds nothing like that. It's just like glorious and rapturous. But even Purple Rain, the song, is like his mega power ballad, like number 8 in the all-time Rolling Stone songs list, I believe. But like not a sad song. Like I don't really know Prince to do sad, so I think like When Doves Cry, like is his attempt to like do sad, do beautiful, do flowery without losing sight of the whole like I love my synths and my sex forward sound kind of thing. But I haven't thought about it that deeply because like the lyrics that always enrapture me. It's not like when he says this is what it sounds like when doves cry. It is him comparing himself to his mother and his father because he like never talks about his personal life and his music except for
Yeah.
here and like his like second to most acclaimed song ever. So
Wow.
I
Now
never
I'll have
really
to
thought
listen. I'll have
about
to
like
listen to it with that ear. Like
yeah.
I haven't gone that deep into Prince's catalog where I'd be able to kind of know that he avoided personal songs, other than in a rare instance like this. Yeah, it sounds totally fresh, totally beautiful. It's way better than Parliament's Flashlight. Like I don't necessarily. I kind of dislike long songs just because I think they tend to
Mhm.
be repetitive or have errors. I don't think you can play error-free ball, as I like to say, with a long song. Like you could have chopped this off at 3 minutes and it probably would have been a great song if you had put all the cool stuff in it. I do like the effects treated vocals on it. But yeah, like when Doves Cry, it's like, yeah, I'm looking at lyrics, but only because it's such a great song. I have nothing to say about
Yeah.
it.
I mean, there's nothing bad to say about when doves cry. I could be like trying hard to say something bad about it. And it's interesting to hear you talk about like long songs as like going back to Purple Rain, the song that's like an 8 minute song. And it's like celebrated as like a holy part of the, American music canon. I'm curious what you think of Purple Rain then.
Well, Purple Rain's great, but then I'd have to, I mean, I probably could take several minutes out of it. But then also, what is Purple Rain? What is it?
Right. Yeah. The
What?
whole point is the length.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I think it works. Like, there's probably a single edit that there might have been where I would love it. But he probably kept up the excellence for the entire song. I haven't heard it in a while, and I probably have put it on. I probably have it on one of my top playlists. But when it gets to the 4 or 5 minute mark, I might actually advance the song to something else because there's a lot more Prince to listen to. Like, for example,
Oh,
I
for sure.
love one of my favorite Prince songs is "Starfish and Coffee."
I do love that song. It's
Yeah,
very underrated.
yeah, it's just this sweet, and it's got Muppets in the video or something like that. And I'm like, this guy can do anything. So no, I can't take any issue with Purple Rain. It's just that, and maybe that was a rare example where a long song actually pulled it off. And if anybody can pull that off, it's Prince.
Yeah.
The next one is your choice.
Okay. Let's toss out Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush.
Oh gosh, we're gonna get lyrical on this thing too, by necessity. By necessity, because that's a good one. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna save my other song to beat your song because I don't think it can beat. I think it could beat anything, but I'm going to go with Jackson. I'm a Sacrificial Lamb, Jackson Browne, Somebody's Baby.
And I think that's okay because, like, I'm not a huge Jackson Browne person myself, but my mom loves Jackson Browne. My mom, for
Really?
context, was born in the 1950s.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, like I'm sad to like see him go up against like a heater like Running Up That Hill because like my mom would be happy to see him win. But like Running Up That Hill is one of those songs where like from the first like drum beat is perfect because I mean we've had enough booming drums in our lifetimes now that we are 41, 42 years removed from Running Up That Hill, but like not that I was alive in 1985, but like whose drums were booming like that in 1985? Like that shit's crazy.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, who sounds like her today? Is it Chapel Roan?
True. I mean, actually, I would say a lot of people sound like Kate Bush, but not many in the mainstream. Like, there might be some Kate Bush and Chapel, well, definitely in Good Luck Babe by Chapel Roan. But like when I think of like the rise and fall of a Midwest princess, I think more like Lady Gaga, a sprinkle of Madonna, but definitely Good Luck Babe. But there are some like very, very indie artists who are like, not getting any payouts from Spotify because of how the system favors the like higher streamed artists who like are clearly taking direct cues from Kate Bush. But if you were to just try to like pinpoint somebody who like even has had like blog success, like a bunch of critical reviews that are good, none of them really sound like Kate Bush, except for maybe the electronic musician Astra. And the music critic trope of like this person sounds like Kate Bush is just like sexism and a lack of imagination. In the mainstream, there's nobody.
It's like when color comment, commentators always get in trouble for the NBA when they use they're like, oh, this great white guy, Luka Doncic, right? And they're like, who's this comparable? And the minute they pick a white guy, everybody's like, what? And so, meaning you
Yeah.
can't just, I mean, yeah, if you have any imagination whatsoever, you shouldn't necessarily pick a woman, or you shouldn't pick a woman
Mhm.
from a certain part of the country or a certain,
Yeah.
ethnicity. But that's just funny that anybody would get in trouble for, just like lack of imagination in the context of comparables is pretty funny to me.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, what other albums are good by Kate Bush? Because I like the song of one of her songs that I liked a lot before this Running Up That Hill got huge again is a snowflake song? Is there something about
Hmm.
snow?
Well, there's the album 50 Words for Snow, which is her most recent album as far as I can recall. It definitely is. And it's like a solid album, but if I was going to recommend one album other than Hounds of Love, which is the one that Running Up That Hill is from, it would be The Sensual World, which is from 1989, I believe, and it has the title track, The Sensual World. It has This Woman's Work, and it has at least one other song that I'm forgetting the name of that is like as good as anything on Hounds of Love. And there are like a couple of songs from The Dreaming that are also incredible. I think it's from The Dreaming at least. Sitting in Your Lap, incredible song. Sat in Your Lap. It's called Sat in Your Lap.
Yeah, I think even on Hounds of Love, I'm looking at my liked songs here. Sorry. Yeah, like somebody picked Hounds of Love as a song, and I had lyrical issues with her getting so close to a damaged fox. I was like, that thing's about to chew your face off. Like in
Yeah.
my in my like songs for her, I do have Snowflake, but I do recognize Cloud Busting more. I think
Incredible song.
yeah, Cloud Busting might be the song that I really, really love. But yeah,
I
so Cape,
almost chose Cloud Busting over Running Up That Hill for this, to be honest with you.
you would pick it?
I almost chose
Oh,
Cloud
okay.
Busting over Running Up That Hill when I was putting my list of songs together.
Well, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that one, I would have been like, dude, exactly. I love that song. Yeah, Running
So
Up That
good.
Hill is great, but I think I've heard covers. You know,
Yes.
a lot of covers are running up that hill. I don't know, did
Mm,
Phantogram do it? Or
possibly.
Chromatics
Chromatics for
maybe?
sure, because like the Chromatics cover is somehow nearly as good as the original, which never happens.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, that's a fucking great version.
It
And
really
actually, when I
is.
think I read on Pitchfork, like I read it quickly and said something like Chromatics, new Chromatics album. I'm like, oh great, I like the Chromatics. And they were like, oh no, that's the name of the new Gaga album, like Chromatica or
Yeah,
something.
Chromatica.
I was like, fuck that, dude. I wanted a Chromatics album. Okay, so the final song, and this is when you're gonna lose.
Mhm.
I love your band. I love your band. I love them. But I'm picking one of the best songs in the history of time, according to me, and no one else, is Radiohead's Let Down. What are you going to choose against it? And what do you think about Let Down?
I mean, I'm going to choose Head Like a Hole by Nine Inch Nails. And here's one where I have to get into separating the art from the artist, a Lavender Sound specialty for Radiohead, because Johnny Green, well, I don't know about Johnny Greenwood, but Tom York for sure has been like a very negative voice in the whole like Israel's committing genocide thing because they are. And Tom York is like, oh no, but I still love them. And it's like, weren't you the person who also talked about like tech overlords in 1997? Like, how can you reconcile the two? If
Oh,
we
okay.
separate that though, like Let Down really is like a perfect song. So I feel you.
No, that's cool. I didn't know about, yeah, Tom York's position. And so you're just saying you don't necessarily disagree with it. You're saying it's just inconsistent, internally
Oh no,
inconsistent
I
with his
disagree with
past
Tom York's
positions.
position entirely. Tom York's
Okay.
position on, Israel somehow not being a genocidal state, that is a lie. But
Oh, he's saying
if
it's
you
not.
separate,
He's saying
I'm
it's
saying
not.
Israel is a genocidal state, and Tom York is saying that it's not, which is interesting because like Roger fucking Waters of all people will keep calling Tom York out on this, and like, to be called out by Roger Waters feels a little wild.
Yeah, but also, why is it coming out just to say it's not?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
That's a
That's
weird.
the other thing.
It's
I
just
don't have a good answer for that.
yeah, it's weird, but yeah, yeah, separating art from artists. I love Tom York, and I also like a lot of his solo stuff. But Let Down, I think I remember this. This is not saying much because I don't respect Grohl really, but David Grohl at the time was like he used to have that thing where you could pick a song you wish you wrote.
Hmm,
And David Grohl picked Radiohead's Let Down back in the day. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't really like Grohl, but I think
me neither.
he can occasionally write a good pop song. So he knows how
Yeah.
poppy that song is. And one thing that made me so happy is I don't think they played it a lot. And I saw like a performance on YouTube. And when they finally played it and his voice went up high in that one
Hmm.
part, the Ed O'Brien, is that the multi-instrumentalist guy?
Yeah.
Like he
Hmm.
had this huge smile on his face when Tom York hit that note. And I was like, yeah, I love that fucking note. That note makes the song. But yeah, Nine Inch Nails is great too. I picked things like I think I almost picked Terrible Lie. I did pick
Great song.
yeah, I think I chose two Nine Inch Nails song and I saved Terrible Lie, but the song I picked, which is lesser, was March of the Pigs because it was very poppy and it had some good percussion. But I think this is on Pretty Hate Machine, right? Which is the best name for an album ever.
So March of the Pigs is on the downward spiral, but
But it had
Head
like
Like
a
a
hole in
Hole,
Terrible Lie, right? That's on
yes.
Pretty Hate Machine.
Yeah, I
Oh, I
do want
love
to
that.
return back to March of the Pigs because, like, I did almost choose March of the Pigs for this matchup instead of Head Like a Hole, but I was
Oh,
like, no, I'm
really?
going to go with Head Like a Hole. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Because I think it's like as far as pop goes, like a lyrical vocal hook, Terrible Lies is the best. But March of the Pigs was
Yeah.
very poppy and it was very interesting percussively. And I can't
Mhm.
believe you're the only other person who loves that shit.
There's like very small indie artist named Fusilier, Fusiler. I think I
Okay.
might have spelled that wrong. Fusilier. He has
Okay.
this one song called Ambush that is such a clear attempt at his version of March of the Pigs that there's a third person out there who loves it, is my point. But for the most part, I feel like it's a little overlooked.
Is it good? Did he fall
Oh, it's
short?
great. Yeah. I
Oh, it's
mean,
good.
I've written on Lavender Sound about how the album is from let me down a bit because his previous work overall was so good and the album is spotty, but that song from it, which is the opening song and the title track, is like exactly what I wanted from a full length album from this artist. I just didn't quite get it. But I still encourage folks to listen to Fusilier's music because like his pre-album singles and EPs are all fantastic.
Well, it's good to hear because a lot of times what I'll do is I'll get so used to a great song by an artist, like I pick the best song from an album or something like that, and I listen to that so much, and then they come out with an album, a new album. You're like,
Yeah.
well, this obviously falls short because I've been listening to
Mm-hmm.
the best song
Yeah.
ever, and now here comes a album worth of songs that I don't know or like yet, and some of them are not as good, and so
Yeah.
that's why I'm more of a lover of songs rather than artists. Now, what do you like about Head Like a Hole?
I think it's a really good pop chorus in the way you were saying Terrible Lie is. And like it feels like a protest song without really having the most clearly defined politics. And sometimes that is a negative. But in this case, because Trent Reznor is singing about something so universal, like not just taking orders
Yeah,
from
I'd rather
happening
die than give
like
you
it like
control.
it feels sorry, go on.
I'd rather die than give you control. That's nice. That's even good
Yeah.
in the context of relationships.
Yeah, I mean, it really fits in so many places, and it's just the like rage but pop with which he sings it that makes it such an effective song. But like, I rarely play just once. I usually listen to it immediately again.
Yeah. I don't know how he does that. He keeps doing it too. It's just like he
Hmm.
has what's his recent one that I loved? I'll have to look it up right now. But yeah, he's so good at that. And I really think hard rock can be pop, and I think he might have
Yeah,
helped Marilyn Manson do that a little bit.
yeah. I mean, I don't think you have Marilyn Manson's success without Trent Reznor, but I do think Trent Reznor was correct to separate himself from Marilyn Manson in recent years, and that's what I'll say on that.
Yeah, there you go. I do applaud like the fact that I don't know what fucking happened, but at the beginning of the current tour for Marilyn Manson, I only listened to the three songs I like, but his voice was actually on point. So I'm like, did this guy go to a vocal coach or something? And then during one of his shows, he gets on stilts, and I was like, that's cool because remember like his videos for Beautiful People and for Tourniquet and for to a lesser extent Sweet Dreams, they were great, and it's not necessarily because he did them. But like if I ever did a music video, I'd be like, whoever did that video, those are the people I want. And the song I'm
Yeah,
thinking about is it's right here. Gosh, fuck.
yeah, while you try to remember it, I'll say that like for all of the ways in which Marilyn Manson is clearly problematic and has like been credibly accused of sexual assault by so many women, like those songs, like The Beautiful People,
Yeah.
Sweet Dreams, the like, Eurythmics cover, like those were like very influential for me in like early high school. And I can't really erase that from the way that I progressed in terms of liking music. But I definitely do not listen to Marilyn Manson anymore, especially because I have like a second degree separation, 2 degrees of separation from one of his victims.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Did you write about that on Lavender Sound?
No, it's not my place.
But even like
Yeah.
I'm editing a book for somebody who's in AA, and
Mm.
he writes their names and shit. And I think that's
That's,
just like I told him just write, we'll correct things later. But like one of the
yeah.
things I'm going to send to him when I send him my edited draft is, make sure you change those names because theirs is not your story to tell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so we file them everywhere. This is Lavender Sound, and let me spell that out. Lavender, lavendersound.substack. Let me try that one more time. Lavender, lavendersound.substack.com. What are some recent
Mhm.
articles you've written?
Yeah, that is exactly where to follow me. The most recent article I actually reposted relevant to this conversation, my old piece today titled Nine Inch Nails Belongs in the Queer Music Canon. So take a look at that because
Oh,
it's,
cool. Do they?
yeah, I think so for all the reasons I say in this like 1600 word article. Like I go deep.
Is there queer
And
people in it?
no, it's a totally straight band. Trent Reznor's very straight, but like he has done so much soundtrack work for queer media and has had such an influence on queer musicians that I think he rightfully belongs in the canon, even though he's not literally one of us.
Oh,
So
good.
yeah, that is the most recent piece. Before that, I did a joint review of the newest albums like Courtney Barnett and Snail Mail and provided some other listening and reading recommendations alongside that.
They did
And
a
then
joint
before
project?
that, the two of them each released a new album on the same day,
Okay.
March 27th, and also announced the albums on the same day in January. And so I was like, well, that feels like fate. I got to write them both at the same time,
Oh, that's
write
great.
about them both at the same time.
I
Yeah.
like them
So
both. They're
that's,
great.
yeah, they're great. Like the Courtney Barnett album is really good. The Snail Mail one is good.
Yeah,
Um,
at least I did fire up Snail Mail's one, and I
yeah,
think consistent with Pitchfork, I was just kind of like, I don't read the reviews anymore because it's behind a paywall. But
same.
yeah, but it's just like it was less good than some of their other stuff. Even her prior album had that Valentine song that I loved.
Yeah, that song's great.
Yeah.
My hot take is that the new Snail Mail album is better than the Valentine album overall, but Valentine, the song is like God tier. So
Oh yeah, it
there's
is.
that.
Yeah,
Um,
and there are God tier songs, and that's what this Hall of Fame Face Off is about. Is it better than the Courtney Barnett album?
Wait, is the Snail Mail album better than which one?
Yeah, is the most recent Snail Mail better than the most
Most
recent
recent
Courtney
Courtney
Barnett?
Barnett?
Yeah.
No, I would say the most recent Courtney Barnett is considerably better than the most recent Snail Mail.
Dude, these are the freshest takes, man. I gotta look at Lavender Sound. So everybody check out lavendersound.substack.com. And Max Freedman, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Brian. I appreciate it. This has been fun.